Right, so the DJI racing drone has now created big interest in things like this. A racing drone, okay? Yeah, these are great fun. They are tricky to fly, they can be tricky to set up. Okay, there can be quite a steep learning curve setting one of these up to fly. This will flip, this will roll, this has no GPS safety. Okay, this particular one, no GPS at all. Flies quite fast, it's fairly big for a racing drone, and it's steady to learn on. Okay, now there are those out there that want GPS, okay, but you don't want to race either, but you want to be able to do nice flying, you want to get shots, you want to be able to maybe do the bank turns, you want maybe a bit of manual flying, but what do you buy? What out there could you buy? Now, what I'm going to show you, you'll notice, actually, this is the TBS Discovery, and you'll notice its arm layout is very much like the Mavic, okay, but this airframe was before the Mavics, okay, and this is known as a TBS Discovery. Now, to note about this, okay, your GoPro would sit here, okay, and then there's a camera here which you will watch the flight through, okay. So this is what you see, this records everything, okay, and then you can take the SD card out and you can do whatever you want with the footage. Now, the important bit is with this little fella is the DJI drone will cost you £1,300. Something like this, right, cost me second hand, okay, now this has got, it says, I'm just going to check the flight controller, because I think it's the light. It is the NASA light. Yeah. So this whole aircraft, everything you see here, apart from the receiver that's in it, cost me £80 second hand. So this was my £80 mass bargain. Okay. All I had to do was put the camera on it, put the GoPro on it if I want to record, and this machine, okay, with its video transmitter, this machine will do 500 meters easily. Now, it's got a couple of advantages over the racing drone, because the flight controller, okay, has returned to home. Okay, we have the GPS puck up here. Now, you have to make sure this is secure. The number one reason why the NASA had problems is because this GPS puck can fall over in any way, shape or form, causes you mass problems. I actually prefer to stick these to the actual main frame normally. This is second hand, I've left it as it is. I will change it eventually to how I want it. And the flight controller, the NASA, it will allow it to fly at 40 miles an hour. Okay, you can get different versions of the NASA. So this is the light. You can have the version 1 in it, the light, and the version 2. Okay, so there are 3 versions, and they are the same flight controllers that were typically found in the Phantom 3s, for example. So it's a great machine, okay, and it's great for cruising, okay. So you put your camera on it, put everything on. If you want to go FPV cruising, this is the frame to have. The batteries for this do not cost £130 a time, okay. You put your battery in here, okay, it's a normal LiPo battery. It runs on 3S or 4S, this airframe, and it will fly for 15 minutes or so. Okay, so you put your battery in, set your timer, so when you throttle up and you fly away, and it flies very much like your current DJI aircraft. If you want to, and you put a A2 flight controller in here, the DJI A2 or the DJI Wukong in here, you could even have the bank turns that you see the racing drone do. So as you're flying, you can do the bank turns. I don't believe the NASA version 1 can do that. I'll have to check. You will need a computer to set up the DJI NAZA version 1 or version 2, because they need a computer to do the setup. However, where can you get one of these? These are now cheap. To build this from new, these were £800 kits. Okay, these were £1,000 bit of kit. I've got a bit of dust on it because I've not flown it in a little while, as we can tell. But this thing, okay, it would be great if you don't want to risk a £1,300 bit of kit. The goggles and £100 pair of headset would do nicely with this. Okay, The only things to watch out for is, like I say, GPS puck. Okay, your battery is not a smart battery on this, so it doesn't have low battery return to home. It doesn't discharge after 10 days. You have to look after your batteries a little bit more, but your batteries don't cost £139. So if you want an FPV cruiser, my suggestion is, if you go on eBay, okay, and hunt around, you'll find these typically £300 and under. And if you can, find one with a transmitter already and set up, okay? Because if you've got one that's already set up, it saves you a lot of hassle. It's good to learn the setup, don't get me wrong, it's good to learn it all, but however, if that's not your kind of thing, and it's not everyone's, you know, these are great. It's a TBS Discovery, is what it's called, so Team Black Sheep. It's a Discovery airframe. If you broke an arm on this, right, this plastic brittle arm here, if you broke this arm, to replace that arm, it cost you a tenner, if that, okay? You don't have to send it off to DJI or anything. All you do is undo the 4 bolts on top, the 2 underneath, take your speed controller off, take the motor off, take the arm off, put a new arm on, do up your 6 bits again, put the motor back on, reattach the ESC, job's a good one, okay? And this flies in the open category, okay, the A3 open category. Far from people, and it just cruises along. If you've got your A2 CFC, it just about fits into the A2 CFC bracket at 50 metres horizontal, or it does fit into the Article 16 bracket. Okay? And these are, like I say, these are great machines. Okay? It does have an LED system, so it tells you what's going on, flashing. You can choose your flight mode, so you can choose ATI mode, so you get ATI with this. You can have GPS, so you can have return to home set up. Okay? But yeah, if you want an FPV cruiser, or you think, oh, I want to try FPV out, and you haven't got the money, because a lot of people won't have £1,300, you know, either look at a racing drone, and I'll put a link to Bruce's channel, I think, because Bruce has reviewed lots of little racing drones and headsets, and you get a lot of useful information from Bruce's site. Or go online and have a look on eBay and look for TBS Discovery Frames. Okay, you'll find them fully kitted out from 300 and under. Okay, you don't have to have a GoPro here. You can attach any little sports camera you want just here. Okay, so there's a little mount there, so you can just put it on and stick it, and it sticks on nicely. Okay, but yeah, if you fancy FPV cruising, multi-rotor, check these out. Great machines. Right, catch you all later. Safe flying, everyone.